situations happen. I ain't gonna get into those, and to the point where I was homeless. I was go to there. I decisions I made. I became homeless.
Yeah.
Literally sleeping in my truck, going to work, act like I'm going to the gym. I'm going to take a shower because I ain't got nowhere else to take a shower at. So I finally had to look myself in the mirror, like, bro, who are you? 7 Habits of Effective People.
7 Habits of Effective.
7 Habits of Effective People. Sean Connolly, I believe that's the author. But yes, even so much, bro. There's a teenage version, and I had my daughter read it last year as she went into her 13th birthday, and made her write me an essay over it during the summertime last summer. Yeah.
What's the basis of it though? Like, what have you learned as far as effectiveness? Like, what does it help you be more effective in? How does that translate to 10?
It's really centered around being effective on the person you want to be, if that makes sense. So how do you want to talk to people? How do you want people to perceive you? How do you want to be remembered? And I fall back to that book. I mean, I just kind of started back on it 2 weeks ago, and it was like perfect. Well, I won't say perfect timing because it always keeps me in the mindset of how I want people to remember me. Every day's not a promise, and we know that, right? My cousin literally, she's a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years younger than me, literally just passed. Today's Saturday. I want to say Thursday. I got a call Thursday morning. Car wreck. The day it was raining real hard that morning. Car wreck, her and her daughter, 17, 18-year-old daughter. Yes, sir. 72nd and Blue Ridge. Yeah. Daughter was set to graduate next weekend, right? So it's just little things like that, man. And her and I, we had an extremely close relationship while we were together. Whenever we were together, it was like we never left each other. Those type of relationships. And so that one kind of hit me real hard. But this book keeps me in that mindset. You know what I mean? Like, with her leaving, the number one thing that came to my mind, and everybody's been saying it, was Krista was all about her family. Like, it was just genuine love. If you say anything about family to her, she brightened up. If you say anything about her family, she knuckled up. Like, she's that type of person. And I mean, even to the point where before I kind of got going in my way, my daughter was 1, 2, 3 years old. My wife and I, we weren't together at the time. I would come to the barbershop to get my hair cut. My cousin at the time would be cutting my hair for like $5, if anything. He'd be like, bro, just give me something. Because he knew I couldn't afford it. Excuse me. And I would come in with my daughter, Tyler, and she'd be like, you ain't finna have my cousin walking around like that. I don't care if y'all together or not, you and your lady. And just have Tyler sit in the chair and just do her hair. Wouldn't say nothing to me like, you owe me this, no, none of that. Because that's just who she was. And that was on a regular basis, bro, for years, bro. So that book keeps me in that mindset of just being effective. How do I want to affect people? How do I want to be remembered? You know.
But the book she was writing too also left that effect on me.
Exactly.
A lot of times, we get what we need from literature, from actual reads and stuff, but like, really, if we were just reading the people around us,
life is the biggest teacher.
Yeah,
the biggest teacher, bro. Like, I got a little cousin, man, and he's so smart because he learned that early on. Like, he would literally just watch his older brothers, like, oh, y'all doing that? I ain't gonna do that.
How old is he?
Right now, he's 28, 29 years old.
What you learning from him?
I'm learning a lot from him. Just being observant like that. Literally just watching people, like, oh, okay. Like, I learned that from him early on. Like, I just watched him do. He would never, like, cousins. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
What he doing, big cousin doing, okay. That's my role model. That's my big brother. That's my big cousin. I guess that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And he would watch us get in trouble. He'd be like, oh, yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah. And then go do the complete opposite and just advance in life. Like, he's doing well off of him.
You seen that early on from him?
Yeah.
Did you let him know you seen
Absolutely.
That? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you continue to do it?
Oh, yeah, I would still do it. Like, I'm a hard head, bro. Like, I gotta bump my head. That's just who I am.
But something about the way he was doing that was attractive
It
to you,
triggered me.
or you wouldn't have
Yeah.
gave him credit, or you know
Oh,
what I'm saying, said something to him. And like, what's that fight? What are you fighting? What are you
Ooh.
fighting against?
What was I fighting against?
What-
Because I don't feel like I do it anymore.
Let's talk
that
about
was
that. What was it?
as a teenager, man. It was more so I didn't have anybody else to look towards. You know, like my father was in and out. Like he was all about the streets. My mom, she was going to work, just trying to make a better life for us. So she went back to school, got her doctorate, all of that. So she just wasn't there. My grandmother was a large part of my upbringing, and in that time, everybody's at grandma's house.
Yeah.
You know,
So that's cousins and
everybody's at grandma's house.
So this is your mama's grandma, or
My
your
mother's grandma.
So she got a lot of sisters, but your mom got a lot of
it's
siblings.
10, 12 of them, I
Yeah.
believe, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So y'all did like what they say, a jungle, not a jungle. You raise your child.
Oh yeah, a village. Yeah,
A village.
Yeah.
village. So
Oh,
it was
definitely.
basically village raising.
Definitely. I mean, even our neighborhood. Grew up on 37th Amendment, and our neighborhood, the whole block. Like you couldn't, if you get in trouble over there, you're gonna get a whooping over there. Then you had to go home and get a whooping. And then my mom got out of work. She was mad because she got out of work and had to hear the story. So I got another whooping. Like you just gonna get whoopings all day long. So it was truly a village. So that actually kept me from getting into a lot of trouble. Like I wouldn't smoke. Like everybody I went to school with, excuse me, they was smoking weed, drinking all that 6th, 7th grade. I wouldn't do that because I knew there was consequences for me to go home. They didn't have those, but at the same time, I would still be outside, if that makes sense.
So moms was working a few jobs.
She was working during the day, but when she got off, she went to school. Yeah.
And when you say pops was in the streets, what you mean? Like
literally.
there's different forms of being in the streets.
Yeah. So Pops was just Pops was a Rolling Stone. Like, if that's the best way to put it. So
You look like you were singing that song. I ain't gonna
I was
that a voice though.
to go ahead and start.
You just go, I'm sorry.
I love the Temptations, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was literally a Rolling Stone, man. He'd be gone. He'll get a job, and he'll just work that job to get his paycheck, and you wouldn't see my dude for weeks on weeks until that check was gone. 9 times out of 10, he's straight to the boat, seeing if he could double, triple it, quadruple it. And if he did, you really want to see my dude.
So when he broke, he in the house.
Oh, he gonna come home.
He come. So at that time, him and your mom was together. Because when you say come home,
Yeah,
that means him and your mom was together.
it's a funny story, bro. Like, I have 2 older sisters, 1 older brother, a sister that's 6 days younger than me, and 2 little brothers, and now a little sister. I think she's in 2nd grade. Yeah. So my sister's 6 days younger.
I thought you said your brother's 6 days, your sister's 6 days.
My sister from a different mom, was 6 days younger.
What you going somewhere?
Go ahead.
How did you take to your sister?
Oh, me and my sister was best friends growing up. Like when he come pick me up, whenever he would come pick me up, her and I would gravitate because we was like same age, that we just called each other twin.
Yeah.
So we always gravitated towards each other. Like she even came to live with us at one point, at my mom's house.
Mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you see in mom then? Did you ever look at moms and be like, why? What? Why?
I was never grown up enough to comprehend anything.
Okay.
You know, so I would never get into their business. But in my mind, I would always like, nah, that ain't right. Yeah. Like I knew it wasn't right, you know.
Because you were essentially raised by women.
Correct.
So you would, I'm sure they instilled some type of
Correct.
values in you. So you looking at him like,
right.
So did that make you resent him?
Me and Pops didn't have a relationship.
At all?
Nah, we didn't have a relationship. Even when he did come on, like I tried to score over with my dude and everything. Like Mom said, like I said, Mom went and got her doctorate, so her income came up. So we moved from our little cracker box house over in Eastwood. I stayed in Eastwood on 51st. We moved from over there into Woodson Estates. So when I moved over there, Pops was really trying to get involved. Mom said just bought me a drop-top Mustang at the time. That's what
she bought you a drop-top Mustang?
Yeah. I was 14, about to turn 15, somewhere in there. Yeah.
You was driving it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was driving to school.
Mom's a beast.
Yeah, when she got her bread, she got her bread. Bro.
So what it looked like him coming back in the house?
It was bothering me because I was already bothered by how you was living.
Yeah.
I'm working at McDonald's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking to work, 13, 14 years old, and my whole check is going home. So that bothered me. Like, this ain't even my responsibility. Of course, I'm gonna help moms out, but this ain't my responsibility. And I'm watching you go to work and then take your bread and be gone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then just come back as you please. So me and Pops we always clashed. So the story I was getting to was when we was getting ready to move, while we were moving, packing up the house in Eastwood to move to Wilson Estates, Pops told me to go get a box or something, bro. And it just triggered me, bro. I'm like, man, we in the yard. I'm like, bro, you get the box. And it was just a bunch of just anger, bro. I mean, 14, 15-year-old young man, bro, I was angry. You know what I'm saying? I was angry. So at him.
Uh-huh.
And we just squared up.
Y'all actually got to the Dukes.
We squared up, and then I think I picked up one of them yellow plastic bats. I picked one of them up, swung it, and he just grabbed it with that old man strength.
Yeah.
And he was like, son, I ain't trying to treat you like a nigga off the street, so chill.
So he would have put you down.
He would have put me down. I mean, today I'm 6'2", 230.
Yeah.
This is, late 1990s at the time. Pops, he probably about 6'3", 6'4", about 240.
Yeah.
So he was gonna throw that old man weight around, but we didn't get to actually swing no deep.
How'd you actually look at the people around you with fathers, active fathers in their life?
Bro, I wasn't jealous, but I appreciated what they had, and I gravitated to them.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my best friend Otis, his pops literally took me in. Like, it wasn't even just about sports, because he seen I could play, but it wasn't just about sports. But he just literally just took me in. He called me his son.
Yeah.
And that just meant something to me. And he just passed recently, and that really meant something to me. And then even with Yogi, TJ's daddy.
Yeah.
I mean, we be over there night and day, literally. Like, get out of school. TJ lived right behind Raytown Middle School. So we get out of school, out of practice, go to TJ's house and stay till whenever. And Yogi never put us out. But it was just and he was a coach for the AAU team too. So we was always around Yogi. So he was another father figure. I tell him all the time. I said, did you know that who you was to us? And he said he did. And that really, for him today to say he did, that means a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Because he did it on purpose.
Intentional.
Yeah, he was on purpose about that.
Them embracing you instead of like you just one of my child's friends.
Mm-hmm.
Them embracing you, saying, putting their arm around, hey, I'm Pops for you.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't literally even say it.
Big O said that.
So I'm Pops, bro. You think that made it easier for you to not like be like, nigga, y'all got y'all dad. Y'all.
Yeah, me and O never had that conversation.
Yeah.
Me, TJ never had that conversation.
Yeah.
Because it was who they were. Like, I appreciate them dudes so much, bro. Like, and it wasn't even the fact that Big O said, you my son. It was just him being there.
Yeah.
Even though me and O was on the same teams, and so he was at the games regardless, he cheering for me the same way he cheering for O. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew everybody. Yeah. But he in the crowd, you hearing, Timmy! Like, you hearing. And it meant something to me, bro. Like,
but it's still not yours.
It wasn't my pops.
So it wasn't,
so the anger was still there?
It was still there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The anger was there well into my 20s. Yeah. Like, well into my 20s. Because at the same time, I still wanted my pops. You know what I'm saying? Like a little boy don't lose that. Like, I wanted my pops. So as I got older, I still had a little boy inside of me wanting my pops. But so playing ball allowed me to get rid of a lot of anger because of what ball allows you to do. But at the same time, it just wasn't right. You know what I mean? I wasn't right. Yeah.
Where'd you send that anger most of the time? Could you even call it then? Looking at it now, because back then you probably couldn't no, this is anger from not having the pops.
Yeah.
Or you probably would have stopped doing it. Where do you feel like you were directing that anger?
It caused me to be dedicated. Like, it was a twist. Like, I wasn't a fighter or nothing. But it literally caused me to be more dedicated. Got answer that? You good?
No, go ahead. That's my bad.
But yeah, so I really just turned my focus into that because it was more so like I don't want to be my pops. So I was so dedicated in anything that I touched, I'll delve into it, and I'm just gonna be the best I can be at it. Anything I do, I'm gonna be the best I can be at it because I don't want to be that man.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him, I've visualized him as a failure, and I didn't want to be that.
But where we are today, I see a picture online. It's damn near, it's one of the dopest pictures I've seen, by the way.
Appreciate that.
It's a generational picture. It's your son, then it's you kind of faded, then your pops next to you a little more faded or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? What is?
Bro, there's so many levels to that picture.
Talk to me.
So the caption I put actually is the first level of the picture. The caption was, I don't even remember it now. The father had so many imprints or something to that nature. That level right there is just the imprint my father put on me, again, was my dedication. If anybody really knows me, they know the level of dedication that I put towards anything.
Yeah.
And it literally stems from the imprint of my father, because I literally just didn't want to be that guy. So I would dedicate myself wholeheartedly to not be him. Still end up doing stuff like still end up drinking because he was alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I never got into drugs, just got into women. Like,
yeah,
still did it, but I didn't go as far left as he did because I was still intentional about it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next level of that, I mean, on the picture, like you said, Pops is really faded out. So the purpose of him being faded out and me coming into the picture was to say,
turn up a little bit just in case that came.
So the purpose of me fading him out and me bringing brightened up a little bit is for my son to be more of the focus, and then I be more of his focus.
That's fine. You did that on purpose?
I asked for the photographer to do that.
Yeah.
I had the whole concept, and I told her, this is what I want.
Yeah. Did your pops understand what you were doing with that?
Afterwards.
Afterwards.
So Pops asked for the picture.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking in my head how this went.
Pops asked for the pictures, like, son. So we have all three of us at Timothy M. Harris, all of us.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Pops is like, I need a picture. So what triggered it is my wife gave me a photo for Father's Day 2-3 years ago. Like I said, my grandmother raised me. Actually 2 years ago, my son was just turned 1, I believe. We all took a picture. Me and the kids were sitting on my lap at a venue, and my wife had my grandmother painted in the background. So my father, and that's hanging in my office. So my father comes over. He's never been in the office. So he comes over, sees a big picture hanging in the office, and he starts feeling a little type of way. Like, you ain't got no pictures of me in here. I walk through the house, ain't no pictures of me. Let's take a picture. So I'm like, bet, set it up. I'm already in my mind on it right now. Like, I'm about to have a whole dope concept. So as soon as I get there, he's still thinking we taking normal pictures. And I'm like, nah, I'll tell the photographer this is what we're doing. I mean, it's still a dope picture.
That's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's still a dope picture.
That's
but
hard.
It ain't what he had in mind.
Yeah. So we talked about where he was in the beginning with y'all relationship to where y'all are now. But we missed the middle though. And there's a middling to where y'all start to make that piece, or to where he can even come to you and ask you for a picture.
So prior to all this, bro, before I got out of college, like I said, my mom's bought me the Mustang. 14, 15 years old, I'm driving. My uncle gets out of jail, and him and my pops go on a tangent. Like, they just gone on a whole binge for almost a week and a half, 2 weeks, in my car, in the Mustang. So I'm just without a car, and I'm a teenage boy, like, attached to my Mustang.
Yeah.
And they just didn't ask for no nothing. Middle of the night, just grabbed the keys and gone. And ain't been back for 2 weeks. Finally comes back. My uncle was back in jail. Pops finally is walking down 63rd Street back home. Where's my car at? They didn't wreck my car. Wreck my car. So me and Pops literally, we arguing. I'm crying. He trying to console me. I'm trying to, like, box him off of me. All this, like, it's a whole. So ever since that point, I literally just cut all ties with him. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. I wouldn't even talk to dude. He come in the house, walk right by him like he ain't even there. Like all the way throughout college, I didn't talk to Pops. And then I came home, finished playing ball, came home, and situations happen. I ain't gonna get into those. And to the point where I was homeless. I was go to there. I decisions I made, I became homeless.
Yeah.
Literally sleeping in my truck, going to work, act like I'm going to the gym. I'm going to take a shower because I ain't got nowhere else to take a shower at. So I finally had to look myself in the mirror like, bro, who are you? And that's why the book, 7 Habits of Effective People, is so important to me. And it's reoccurring. So I look myself in the mirror, find out, bro, I don't like who I am. And I started going to counseling at the time. All in the midst of this, and again, it's the little boy inside of me, made me making decisions that got me to that point. So I had to go heal the little boy so I could be the man that I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And me healing the little boy was going to talk to my father. And me going to talk to my father, I wasn't expecting, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting anything. It was me just, I need to talk to you. And as a man, talking to a man, we were able to actually have conversation instead of a teenage boy talking to a man, going through his situation, and me just being an adolescent, young-minded, not knowing, can't comprehend that level of the world. We could never have a conversation. But as I've been through the situations I had been through, and the decisions I had made had been very similar to some decisions he had made, we can now have a conversation. And because of that conversation, everything was just washed.
What does that approach look like, though?
I literally just was like, Pops, we got to talk. We hadn't talked. He had came down, watched me play ball and all that, but we really hadn't talked. And we talked.
So there was already an icebreaker in the fact that he would come to your games at this point.
I don't say it was an icebreaker. I felt like it was more him feeling obligated.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like my pops, he made one of the best decisions for me in my life. I was on my way home. I was going to school in Kansas. Situation happened. I was on my way home. I called my pops. I had got a recruiter from Arkansas, the school I went to finally. Was like, we want you. We'll give you 3 scholarships. Just come on. I had never seen the school, never heard of them, no nothing. So I'm on my way home. I'm calling to the house to tell my mom I'm coming home, and my pops answered. I'm like, Pops, I'm on the way home. Just let mama know. He's like, you come home, you ain't got nowhere to be. Like you can't stay here. So you come home, you figure it out, but you're not gonna be in this house.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the backstory of that in a minute. So I called a recruiter from Arkansas. Like I literally on the way home changed directions, go from on the way to Kansas City down to Arkansas in a Mustang, packed up a whole dorm room, and just go to Arkansas because he told me I couldn't come home. If I come home, I couldn't stay there. Yeah. So literally turned out to be one of the best decisions for me because I would have never went to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Backstory to that is he wouldn't let me come home because he was trying to get out of there. He felt obligated to stay at the house for me. And he was like, you come home. So I learned this all in the conversation later on.
Uh-huh.
If you come home, now I feel more obligated to stay here and be a father to you that I know it wasn't earlier.
How'd you see that?
Later?
With him talking to you about it and actually telling you that in that moment when you're opening up to him and he's being vulnerable, he's opening up to you too.
Yeah.
How did you take that in?
I understood it.
You understood
I understood it. That's what I'm saying. Like, being a man going through the situation I was going through, like I said, man, my wife and I, we weren't together. So she wasn't my wife at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she was just I hate to say it, baby mama. She was the mother of my child. So as the mother of my child, we were going through our conflicts. I wasn't seeing my child. I was just dropping food, diapers off on the porch. So the life that he lived was a life that I ended up living because of the decision I made. Not knowing I'm following his, while I'm trying to be so dedicated not to be him, I still become him.
Yeah.
Like, generational curses are real.
Yeah.
Like, real. And that was part of me, again, wanting to cut that tie. Like, I got to break that.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, I understood it. Like, I'm going through that right now. So I understand you saying you don't want to be here. So I can't hold you to that. I can't get angry for that. Again, I knew at the time while we having the conversation, I knew it was a good decision for me. So I can't be mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ties. Talking about cutting ties, because I mean, those curses come from both ends. Though.
Absolutely.
Generational curses, and we don't just want to make it about like pops or whatever.
Right.
Because mom's wasn't perfect.
No.
So what are some of those things you inherited from her? What are some of those things that Tim just picked up on his own that weren't so good, and that we're now overcoming now or still trying to work through?
Mom's is the type of person, if you tell her she can't do something, she's gonna do everything in her power to prove you wrong, whether it be good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna prove you wrong, and I got that to the T. I'm gonna prove you wrong, no matter what it is. I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I'm gonna show you in my actions. If I hear a little something, all right, bet. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like even in football, when I played ball, when I tore my Achilles, tore my ACL, actually I tore everything in my right knee, every ligament. And the doctors literally would tell me, you'll never touch the field again.
Mm-hmm.
And just same trigger. I played 5 years after that. Yeah.
Did that mess you up?
My knees?
It took you even, it fucked you up even more?
Oh yeah, my body, my doctor tells me now my body is the body of a 55, 60-year-old man. Dead serious.
So when you start to try to prove people wrong, that can become distracting to whatever else you're trying to do in life for real. Like, just because I'm on this path to doing this, but you said I can't do this, and I feel like I can. So now my focus is over here, and I'm ignoring something that I should be focusing on.
Yeah, I think I lost a lot of the distraction part of it. Early on, it was a distraction, like how you just described. Now it's not. It makes me dig more into what I'm doing, and I'll just prove you wrong over here instead of being deterred over here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely got that from her. I'm talking about 2 or 2. Like, she gave me that.
I want to go over to about the material thing, because you, for as long as I've known you, you pull up in nice whips and all of that. But the crazy thing about you, and connecting it back to your father and your uncle taking your whip, you'll pull up in something. You want to drive it? Get it? And it's kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you seem like somebody who would want to take good care of these nice things, but then when it comes to your people or your boys or something, well, get in and what is that thing for you? What makes you want them to get behind the wheel, or us to get behind the wheel? And, what is that?
I think it's just who I am today, where I know it ain't really, what's the best way to put this? Like, my money's not mine, if that makes sense. So my things are mine. Like, my life isn't mine. So it's really hard for me to explain, bro. Like, I really just feel like because it's not mine, sometimes I'm just an example. So sometimes I'm just, I'm a vision that you needed to see me have it. Somebody close to you have something. So, yeah, bro, jump in, drive it.
Yeah. And you be adamant, too.
Oh, yeah.
Man, come on, stop. Because I'll say something like, nah, boy, that look like that costs too much money. Man, come on, man, get by. And I ain't gonna do it. But it's just how you are.
I want everybody around me to feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go out, you ain't even. But people know this. Like, you ain't got to. If you drinking, it's on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it ain't about. And I'm not a flossing person, but I just want people around me to feel good and have a good time in that instance. And then with the cars and the money and anything else, I just want people to understand that I'm not I'm not tied to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they used to call me Mustang Tim, and I hated it. Like, literally with my title, I couldn't go nowhere. So I was literally tied to the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't have a car, who would I be to you?
So why do you keep buying these nice?
Because I still like my car.
Right. Because you said something interesting to me one time when we talked. Because I told you my first visuals of you were seeing you pull up, like handsome guy jumping out, people naturally flocking towards you or whatever. You had the dreads back then too. Think it was a Chrysler,
the 300
or whatever, sitting looking nice and all that. Hop up out the power and light or wherever you may be or whatever. People flying. I'm like, damn, cuz got it. What he got going on? Bro. But what you said to me was, nigga, I had $10 in my pocket, and I was sleeping on the floor somewhere. Yeah. Why the fake image though? Because you knew the image you were setting, right?
I did.
You knew what it looked like to us.
I did.
You know what I'm saying?
I did. At that time, that's funny. At that time, I just came back home from playing ball.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't talk about the mental impact of pursuing a dream and not having that dream come to reality, especially in sports. Like the number of young men, even women, that play basketball, football, baseball, any sport, if you're good at it, you're going to sell everything to go get it, to make it happen. And then the percentage of it not happening is greater than the percentage of it is happening, right?
Yeah.
And people don't talk enough about the people who don't make it.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to uphold an image that I made it, because everybody kept saying, but I know you're going to make it. And I'm tore up on the inside. I can't watch sports on TV. I'm drunk 90% of the time. Like, tore up. Because I never got over not making it at that time.
So this temporary fix is getting a nice whip, dressing real nice, and letting people see, letting them make you feel like you made it.
I'm still that guy.
But on the inside, because you still got to go home with Tim.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. That's why I would drink so much.
Yeah,
I'm talking about drink so much because I didn't want to go home to Tim. I didn't want to face Tim. I didn't want to face that reality. Like literally sleeping on my sister's couch. What type of reality is that? And they got it. I'm like, bro, I'm supposed to have it. And they got it.
Ooh, how you think sis looking at you though? Cause she probably see how everybody else look at you.
Oh yeah.
Not to say she judging you, but she probably like, cuz, come on.
She was my biggest fan. She was one of my biggest fans. Back then. Like even to this day still. My older sister Cindy, she literally was just like, that's just a dream deferred. Let's keep going. That's just a dream deferred. Let's just keep going. No matter what she was going through at the time, no matter what, she was still pulling for me to get out of that hole I was in.
Yeah. What that look like, her pulling you out? Helping to try to pull, extending a rope down there. What besides letting you lay on the couch or whatever? Because if I just let you lay on the couch and wallow in your little misery or whatever, you'll stay there.
Yeah. She didn't crutch me.
Slap you in the back.
She never crutched me in that. She just allowed me to know that I was still loved, even though I didn't make it. Because again, so many people gravitated to me because, we think you're about to make it. And she would just let me still feel love when I didn't make it. And let me know it ain't about you not making it. And it ain't about you if you did make it. You know what I mean?
How do you do that effectively? Because we're like, yeah, that's cool. You my sister. You gonna tell me that, but like I don't know how they gonna feel once they. And as much as we all say we don't care about how other people look at us, some part of us do.
It matters.
Yeah,
I wouldn't been drinking the way even though I was running from Tim, I was still running from the reality of people's perspective.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
running from the reality of people's perspective.
Yeah, I ran from that.
When do we say enough is enough?
When I was homeless, like I had to hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm hard headed. I got to go through my situation. So I had to hit rock bottom. Me hitting rock bottom made me look myself in the mirror. I don't think if I ever hit rock bottom, from going to my sister's couch, moving to the projects, and then from the projects, that's when I got homeless. And then my auntie ended up, I go to my auntie's house for, I think, Thanksgiving dinner or something, maybe Christmas dinner because it's cold. And she see my car full of stuff, packed out. I'm thinking I'm hiding because I got 5% tint. She walk outside and see everything in my car. I try to lie, now I'm moving, auntie. Going downstairs. No questions asked, no nothing. Didn't even talk to my uncle at the time. It was literally, go downstairs. And everybody leaves, go downstairs. I slept on her couch in her basement. Well, there's her and my uncle in their basement. And they never said nothing to anybody. Never told anybody I was staying there. So it was things like that. So you asked me about my sister, but my aunt was the same way.
Yeah.
It was never anything held over my head. That's where I felt the love at.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was just genuine. I'm not doing this to say I'm doing it. Like it's, if you need help, I got you. And I ain't got to tell nobody else about it. And that was my biggest thing because of what I grew up, the life that I grew up in. It was always, something was held over your head. Something was always pulled back into remembrance. So I did this for you, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they never did that. So that's why I felt love at.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was caught the same type of way.
Yeah.
But I didn't have tent. I had it. I was driving somewhere, and my sister pulled up on the side of me while I was.
Yeah.
I would think we was at a stoplight or something. I even rapped about it in that "Take It There" song. She called me in my escort.
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
and you went off on that song too, by the way.
I appreciate it. It's fun because it's funny you say that because I just literally posted that song online, and she pulled up on me. Hey, what's up, bro? Her what's up really meant like,
what's up?
Nah, nigga, what's going on?
Exactly.
But my response is like, what's up, sister?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
She looking in the escort.
She, all right. Next thing I know, my mama calling me.
Mm-hmm.
So she's upset about it stuff. What is this thing to where we don't want to feel like a burden on somebody? I do understand when you say, because I'm that person, it's like, I don't want you to throw nothing back in my face or whatever. I don't want, and not to say my mama is like that or nothing, but there's other people who are being a burden on my mama. I don't want to be a burden on you.
Right.
My pop's been taking care of people all his life.
I can't.
I gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Let me stand on my own.
Let me stand on my own.
Let me figure it out. Yeah.
Not to say I didn't eventually go into one of those homes or whatever, but my thing is let me try to figure it out first. I don't wanna call you and burden you. I'm always been that type of person.
I think I was just tired of people helping. You know what I mean? Like I don't want no more help. Like again, my daddy. I felt like my grandmother helped things all my life that I knew of. Like, if ain't nothing, he got my grandmother, he got my Mimi. And I didn't want that. So I'd rather be homeless than be back at mom's house. And then me and mom's wasn't on the same page no way. So I wasn't going back over there regardless. So I'd rather be home. Yeah.
But that's dangerous for us, right?
Oh yeah, without question.
Not wanting help.
Yeah, without question.
Because I thought me not wanting help is me being strong.
Mm-hmm. It's actually you being weak. Yeah, actually you being real weak.
Because I'm scared of what you might think about me. Yeah. If I ask you, I'm scared you may think I'm less of a man. I
was definitely at that point. But again, I can't keep running from this book, bro. 7 Habits of Effective People, bro. It literally gave me all of this. Where I knew it was there, it was just coming from a different perspective. The way he wrote it was just so revealing to me, and it literally was like a slap in the face, a punch in the eye. Like, bro, get your shit together. Period. Like, and at that point, I think my daughter was maybe 2, 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even seeing, like, I didn't see her whole first year until her first birthday. Like,
really?
Yeah. Me and my wife at the time, mother of my child at the time, now my wife, we had got into our conflict.
Yeah.
And took her from me. Like, literally took her from me. And I own that because I said some stuff, I did some stuff to make her be like, you can't take it from me, so I'm going to take it from you. Mm-hmm. And that's what she did. And, you know, women got all the rights in the court, so they'd allow it to happen. But yeah, so at that time, I'm homeless. I'm sleeping at my auntie's house at this time, my aunt and uncle's house, and can't see my daughter. I can see her now. I'm able to come get her. She can actually spend the night with me, but I'm too man enough to have her sleep on the couch with me at my aunt and uncle's house.
And she don't even care.
She can't even comprehend that we're not going to daddy's house. We're just going over Auntie Tanya, Uncle Darren's house. You know what I mean? She just would have thought it was another Sunday dinner because that's what we did on Sundays. Everybody go over there. So she just 2, 3 years old. Again, she can't comprehend that. But in my mind, I can't let her see me this way. But I broke out of that after I got my own spot. But after I got my own spot, my car got repossessed. I gave it to one of my homies. Well, it was my brother's friend, and he actually became like a little brother to me. Actually killed himself later on, but I gave him my truck and told him just take over the note because he was in a bad situation. I said, bro, just take over the note. Note was only like $250. I'm like, bro, you can take over the note. Wasn't paying the note. He gave it back to me. I think a week or 2 weeks later, they came and got it because I think he caught up on notes and I ain't getting no notifications that it ain't been paid. Mm-hmm. And they came and got it in the middle of the night. So I lose my car, so my truck, and at that point, my daughter's maybe 4 years old, 5 years old. So we starting to build a relationship. So I'm not wanting to run from that relationship. So now we on the bus together, on the metro. Walking from bus stop to bus stop. But she thinks it's a game. She riding on my shoulders. We walking down the street. She thinks it's a game. You know what I mean? So, but I didn't want to go backwards. So I kept moving forward. But again, the book, I'm telling you, I read this book religiously. Yeah. Outside of the Bible and other books, but this book I read at least once or twice a year for that very reason.
And I mean, with these books though, we do have to. That's why you saying the Bible, they're this and that. You got to have balance between these books because sometimes we get so hard into the information that this book is giving, right, that we neglect other parts of our life. Because you could have easily neglected the fact that no, my daughter really fucks with getting on the bus stop with me.
Things again.
And you could have just pushed her aside and been like, not until I get this. Right. Until I get this.
Exactly.
And all the while it's just you being selfish.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
completely.
That it kind of reminds me of like us. I've said this before. Like one of my homeboys, like a brother, big brother to me. It was a Christmas. He's like, what you get your daughter? I think she was only like 2 at this time. Yep, she was 2. Like, man, I got hella Jordans. It was probably like 6 pair of Jordans. I was just, you know what I'm saying? He was like, wow.
Exactly.
Like, because I want to get her Jordans. She deserves it. I can't be walking around here and, you know, this and that, and she ain't got no Jordans. Huh?
Right.
Nigga, she don't care about that.
Don't care at all.
Bro, I heard him say that, and I'm going back at him, but in my head.
It's all registered.
I'm like, he right, but you know what I'm saying? That goes back to like knowing you gotta try to prove somebody wrong and stuff. Yeah. I told people that the same thing. JJ, TJ little brother, he put something on me, and this is getting off, but I go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He told me, you know how when younger, you see people in Raytown or whatever, which is supposed to be a better area or whatever back then.
Yeah,
like, y'all niggas ain't going through nothing. I ain't struggling. It's dumb. It's a dumb. JJ, one time, I think JJ was like 11. And we was all staying out north at this time. And he was like, hey, man, y'all always talking that hood stuff. Like, it's just a surprise to come from the hood. Like, he was going in.
Yeah.
I just said, shut your little ass up. In my head, though, I'm like, this little nigga schooling me. Yeah. He's right. Like, everything he said. So, yeah, that, I don't know. I went off on a tangent.
JJ, another one who, like my little cousin, he was ahead of his time.
JJ.
Still is. He's another one like that.
Looking at his moves, you be
He's
proud of.
very, very observant and make moves, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
He's one of them. He is one of them. He's one of those guys. But no, you definitely right, bro. Like it's just situations, even with the Raytown thing, bro. Like even for me, coming from the inner city, well, the city, I ain't gonna say the inner city because 37 still, but coming from 37, starting off at Central, then going to Raytown, I wanted to be perceived as a hood nigga.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Just because I came from Central.
Yeah.
And my people took me out of Central because they seen and heard about somebody getting thrown off a balcony. So no, you got to go.
That's it.
That's it. Oh yeah. Central Middle was like East High School, bro. Like,
I mean, finish saying what you were saying. My bad.
bro, I used to literally have to walk. When I walked to school, we all walked to school together. I was, of course, again, like I was saying earlier, I knew it was consequences for my life because of the village.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to school. But everybody I walked to school with, it might be 10, 15 of us. Only really 3 of us went to school. But we all walked them down from 37 to Linwood over to Cleveland, whatever, to go to school. And only 3 of us actually go into school. And they got me carrying their bags all through the school while they go out, do their thing. They right there at the bell, as soon as school was out, grab their bags, we headed to the house. But I wanted to take that to Raytown and be perceived as that guy. Because for whatever reason, not even for whatever reason, I knew what it was. But I didn't have a father.
So you turned to them at Raytown. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What they were doing to you at Central, you became them at Raytown.
I wasn't hood at all. Even, again, I wasn't allowed to do stuff. I'd be outside playing ball, football, basketball. My grandma had me playing tennis, bro.
Yeah.
Like, nobody in the hood was playing tennis. My grandma was taking me over there on the plaza, had me playing tennis. She exposed me.
Look like Venus and Serena dad. That's crazy.
But yeah, bro, she had me doing all this type of stuff, bro. Like, she was exposing me to everything. Like, again, like I said this earlier, like, my restaurant name previous because of that. Like, she was all about exposing me to whatever. Like, in her catering company, her cleaning company, she would see all these things that she couldn't give to her kids at the time because it was her and my grandfather raising 10, 12 kids, so she couldn't do it. But as she got older and she got more money, she was getting some certain things from her kids and plus the business going, she took it upon herself to give it to her grandkids. Like I said, my mom was gone all the time, so I spent a lot of time at grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd be, come on, let's go. Pack me in a Chrysler and we going over playing tennis. I'm just good at it because I was naturally just athletic.
Yeah.
I can't take tennis back to the hood.
You can't take tennis. They go clown you.
Yeah, I can't.
For doing something great.
Yeah, I can't take this back over there. So
when you was going to Raytown portraying this certain images, how did they take to it? Did they read it on you like, or did they just didn't know no better?
They didn't know. I mean, Raytown back then was predominantly white. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you ran.
Oh yeah, and then the black people, they were none of them. If you didn't come from the hood and then go to Raytown, and you was in Raytown all your life, you really ain't know the difference. I mean, you knew the difference. Well, my point is like you knew he ain't go to Eastwood Elementary School with us. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like he moved a little different. Yeah.
Let's going back to that picture, man.
Yeah.
You breaking curses. You starting to move into...
That was another part of the shadow.
You got up off the couch.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, okay, Pops didn't do too much as far as like breaking the curses.
No.
So he's kind of like in the blur. You're showing up because you're starting to show up, but you still in the blur. I imagine Lil Tim is supposed to make it this... Take what you're building and make it what it's really supposed to be.
What it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So in the midst of me having a conversation with my pops and the whole forgiveness thing and I love you and us just breaking that whole curse there, he would tell me, I mean, as our relationship grew, years, I mean, even today, like he just pulled up to the house now and we were having a conversation as I got the keys to the restaurant. He was just telling me how proud of me he was. And in the midst of that, he literally just went off to a tangent about how he wanted to be this person. but couldn't be that person because of the decisions that he made. Buying a bunch of houses, he wanted to buy a bunch of houses. He went to the military, so he wanted to get out of the military and use that to buy houses and be this person.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me I'm the person that he wanted to be. I still got a little boy inside of me.
Oh, we all do.
And that spoke so loud to me. And it spoke louder because we now have a relationship.
Yeah.
So I could actually hear it. And it just fired me up even more.
Is he involved with this stuff? Any?
No, I can't have these conversations with Pops. Like I'm telling you about Pops is in the streets.
Yeah.
So if I talk anything business to him, he lost in the sauce. Like he lost in the conversation. He don't know what we're talking about.
We talk, and privy is exactly what it say, being privy to these things or whatever, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes hand in hand or whatever. When it looks like you're building something luxurious, something real, like, what do they call, elegant, like that we're not used to. Is it important to say that this came from the dirt? This you can do this because I did this from where.
Bro, I get so excited about the opportunity just to be an example, just to be, and not to make it biblical, but just to be a vessel.
Make it biblical. What you doing?
But just to be a vessel, you know what I'm saying? Just to be an extension of God's hand, just to be an extension of who God is. And I'm never gonna be perfect. I don't portray to be perfect, but at the same time, I know when I wake up in the morning, I see God's face first. When my feet touch the ground, God, I thank you. When my eyes open, I'm going straight to His Word. After I go to His Word, I'm going to prayer. After I'm going to prayer, I'm going to a point of meditation to let that seek inside of me. My day might not end the way that I started it, but I'm still trying to be a righteous person. And again, that goes back to 7 Habits of Effective People. Who do I want to be? That's who I want to be. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to be righteous to that degree. But at the end of the day, I'm trying every single day. Every day I'm striving to be better than who I was the day before. Yeah.
What's the message behind privy and free? Because, I mean, the titling is intentional, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because you can't, for a lot of us, you can't just put a name out and we're not just going to know exactly what it means.
Right.
I would imagine you want to create a conversation or a dialogue or something around these names. You probably want people that, why you name that?
I came out with my last post reel, whatever. I'm new to the social media life. Came out with that last reel and kind of gave a description of why privy. Little story I was giving earlier about the tennis and all of that. Like I said, my grandmother was a huge part of my upbringing, man. Huge part. And because of that, I really wanted to have something in honor of her. Yeah. So her always encouraging me to stay knowledgeable, stay in the know. I appreciate you, Grandma. So I name it. I can't name it her name. I could have. I can name whatever I want to name it. Yeah.
Y'all, you took some hits on the way up, though. Like trying to figure things out. You may have dropped the ball where people have put in to help you or believe in you or whatever, or lended a hand or something. You're creating these, and Freedom, y'all creating these, I guess, more affordable than what people are normally used to, because you have a care for us that you know that, like this shit, you can't just, it's not easy for us to get a hold of these type of opportunities or whatever. But what happened? When do you ever feel taken advantage of?
All the time. I mean, people will go in and come sign contracts. I mean, business is business. Real estate is real estate. Yeah. You're going to have people sign up for an apartment and not pay rent.
Right.
So it's the same thing with us too. And it comes from people who call you big bro. somebody I call little sis. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna come from anybody. Like I don't get caught up in it because my vision is still freedom. Like the whole purpose of me creating this, because my wife couldn't do hair the way that she wants to do hair anymore. So I had to give her freedom from behind the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So because I gave her freedom from behind the chair, I need to give 15 other people freedom from behind the chair, or at least a conversation of how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So now the initial part of freedom is, how do you get your own business? You now have a storefront being with us. And now I can educate you and help teach you the steps needed to be able to go get your own storefront outside of freedom. And now you have your own freedom to be able to do this for somebody else. Yeah. So,
and that don't mean I gotta take your shit.
Yeah.
Or take like certain stuff. When do you, as a person who went through all of that stuff and needed somebody to bear with them, how do you learn how to balance that?
'Cause everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through something, bro. I'm going through something. Like we all going through something. My something might not be your something. Your something ain't my something. But at the end of the day, it's still something.
Yeah.
So I can't, again, I don't get caught up in it because I know it's just because it's a decision that you make based off of the situation that you're in. I've been homeless, so I can understand this bad decisions.
Yeah.
I was only homeless because of the decisions I made. I was just a collection of my decisions. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad fate or nothing like that. I was truly a collection of the decisions I made. And it resulted in me being homeless. So if somebody comes to me and don't pay rent or try to walk out on a tab or whatever, well, that's a decision you got to live with. Yeah. Now, I don't want nobody coming to privy talking about I'm just going to walk out and tell them cool with it. That ain't the conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm not holding on forgiveness is my point, because I understand what that does to people.
Yeah. And you also have to, I learned that being too unselfish can be selfish.
Exactly.
Because I can't move it, like you're trying to create freedom for everybody. So if I keep allowing you to do this, you're going to keep pulling away from what I'm trying to do. And
now it's going to put me in a cage.
Yeah.
But now I'm hesitant to give somebody else freedom because of the situation over here.
Yeah.
Because of what you did. And that's why I'm saying I don't hold on to things, because I understand what unforgiveness does.
Yeah.
It makes you a weird person. Like, have you ever been around somebody who's unforgiving?
Oh, man.
They're weird.
It's hard to be around.
Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah.
They're weird.
Yeah. Before we close out, though, I do want to go back to, you talked about you and your wife reading a certain book. What was the name of that book again?
I believe it's 8 Habits of Love. We literally just, like, introduction chapter 1. Like, we just started.
Okay.
So I can't get into the depths of it yet. But it's like our, after we get through with our daily devotions, we'll literally just come out here and read, or we go on the deck, or we just read on the front porch. Yeah. Like just our time together to be able to control the day. With life, you can have your plan. With days, you can have your plans. But at the end of the day, you don't know what your day is going to be. Even though you may have a plan, you have an agenda. I'm all about a calendar. Get on my calendar. But at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to pop up. I don't know if my son's going to wake up with a fever.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So going to the gym and dedicating this time to reading stuff like that, that allows me to have a certain control of my day. Yeah.
We make plans and God lies. Is that what they say?
That's what
yeah.
they say.
Is that a form of y'all dating?
Now it is.
That's dope.
Now it is.
Because people always think you gotta like take them to these.
No. My wife is probably the cheapest date, bro. Like, I try to buy a gift, she don't want it.
Yeah.
I just literally, like, for Mother's Day, I sent her to Chicago, just be by herself to just give her time to get back to Nina for 4 days, and she calling every 5 minutes. I'm like,
chill.
Put you on D&D, bro. Like,
you can't do that.
You. But no, it's just she's the type of person where I'm so appreciative of, because she's not the social media wife.
Yeah.
Meaning she's not looking for the glitz and the glamour and all of that. If I'm being real with you, that's more me than it is her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy more material things than she does. Yeah.
She's not seeking validation from social media or anything.
Not at all. And not to say I am either. It's just based on how I was raised. My mother was a flashy person. still is a flash person. And that's another thing that got inside of me from being her child. Yeah.
They must have heard us talking about freedom.
Yeah, they come to get it. They going to do something.
But in closing, though, man, can you leave us with some words? Can you leave us?
Man, I go in two tangents, man. With as a person,
Make sure we hear you.
As a person, I don't even know how to say this. As a person, don't get caught up in the normals of what today's society forces us to be. You know, be your own person. It's okay to be your own person. It's okay to dream and have your own individual dream. Like, you don't have to go take somebody else's dream just to get likes and get followers. Like, again, I despise social media. I have to do it. I despise it. But I'm okay with me. Today, at this point in life, I'm literally okay with myself. And I encourage everybody to do that same. And then on the business part, have a plan. Even though we say we have a plan and God last, but at the end of the day, we have a plan and God is in that plan. You got a small portion of that plan. Your plan is for so many other people. If God is in it. If God is in it. Like, again, I enjoy the fact that I can be a vessel.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. And keep that in mind. Like, whatever you do, have a why. Don't just go off and do things for money, because if money don't come that day, then what you gonna do? Again, freedom is because of my wife. That's my why. Previous because of my grandmother. That's my why. I have a why. I have a why on what you gonna do.
Is your why really? I mean, we know freedom, but it ultimately is love, though. Like spreading love.
Spreading love. A deeper why, not a deeper why, but a second level of my why with previous because I love my city so much. I love being from Kansas City. And I hate when I hear people talk about Kansas City in a negative way. Kansas City ain't got this, Kansas City ain't got that. All right, bet I'll make it. We have so much talent here. We have so much. We just got a lot here. The people who are here, we got some dope people. My brother, dope people.
Appreciate you.
Like, we have so much here, and a lot of people uproot and leave and take it to other cities.
Where it's built at already.
Where it's already there instead of making Kansas City better.
Yeah.
But they uproot, go do it there, and then talk about Kansas City. Kansas City ain't nothing but some haters. If you do it right, they'll love you.
But there's haters everywhere.
Everywhere.
Before they built it, wherever they built it
Somebody had to go through something.
Yeah, it was hate.
Somebody had to go through something.
That's what. This is so intentional.
Oh yeah.
Every
single time.
Every episode from probably Bam's episode.
I'll observe it every time.
It's intentional. Yeah. Miko had asked me. She was like, "Why are you wearing that hat with everything?" And I had said, she was like, "I thought you was being intentional about it." Yeah. It's intentional. And when you seen that video where I'm going like this, I need y'all to know I'm not just rapping. I'm ready to take it there for Kansas City.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. So when you start to actually read into what I'm saying, this is all about here. Because I start to talk about my parents a little bit, and I say, this ain't that, back on track. Later for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, we got so much here, bro, and I really wish that, and that's my point of people but just get into just being who you are, because who you are is going to help this thing a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And then we don't even have to, like us sitting down, this is a collaboration. Your greatness, what I'm doing, like it's a collaboration.
I need your story.
Exactly. So if we all just start to collaborate rather than, oh, bro, why you doing that? Or he ain't going to do this, or she ain't going to do that, or it ain't going to be this. Let's collaborate. Let's figure out, because you saying that, so I heard one thing, bro, and I ain't trying to keep this going long. I heard one thing where criticism only goes up. So people up here are not criticizing people down here.
Woo! That's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of criticizing, let's just all get on. If you ain't up here, let's get there. Let's collaborate. If I ain't where you at, I ain't gonna criticize you. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can collaborate with you. In my phone, I want to be a millionaire. So I got millionaires in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to call millionaires and talk to them about millionaire conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got righteous men in my phone. If I want to be that person, I have to have these people surrounding me. I'm not criticizing them because they got something that I want. And they might not do it the way that I would have did it, but I'm still not going to criticize you about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go do my thing and do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah. Steve Harvey also said something dope, too.
He got a lot of dope stuff.
Oh, my God. I was listening to him talk to Shannon Sharp, I think it was.
That whole episode.
Huh?
That whole episode.
Man, I think he said, you probably heard him say, did he say it ain't crowded on the extra mile?
Yeah.
That said so much to me, and I said, bro, we got to be the change we want to see. I mean, I may have to put more work in than I anticipated,
but it's going to go through a lot more if you're the first.
Yeah.
You got to go through the less views. You got to go through so many different things. Like, for me, I hate even having this conversation. Like, I hate notoriety. I hate accolades, all that. So
got it.
I'm the first African-American male to have a restaurant in the West Side Crossroads area. And the things that I just had to go through to get it, people will never understand. But I always get the call. I get the call probably, no exaggeration, 15, 20 times a day. If in the call, it's a DM or a text message. But when you open, you said this date, not knowing I'm trying to get through all this for the city.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's my dream. Of course, it's something that I'm dedicated to. But at the end of the day, I want to give something to the city. I want to have this. Like, bro, it bothers me so much when people say Kansas City got ugly women. Bro, I know your wife. I know my wife. Like,
it's so irritating, bro.
It just bothers me so much when people say it. Like, that part, and then the y'all ain't got nothing. Like, all of the, and I know my grammar is bad, but all of that, like, it really bothers me. Yeah. Like, wholeheartedly. Like, I've traveled the world, and I want Kansas City to be more. I love the Chiefs, love them to death. But I want Kansas City to be more than just the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, because we got some real dope people here. Yeah.
Well, what you said, being the first person, we closing out. Don't worry, y'all. I just want to let you know the reason why you have to do this is because that is a indelible mark that can't be removed.
Absolutely.
Oh,
it's the dopest name.
Huh?
It's the dopest name.
Appreciate it. And I was intentional about that because I don't want these conversations to have no shelf life.
Right.
I don't want them to ever be removed from the shelf.
Can't be removed.
Take it down, listen to it, but restock it every time.
Yeah.
Don't ever think you're going to put a clearance on these conversations.
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their heart. We pray you've been indelibly marked. Love you, brother. Bro. Oh, this nigga old for real. These really gave out.
Like genuine.